I'm Justin Davis, and this is Drone Camps RC. Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to review the Hubsan X4 Desire Pro. It's the H216A. It's sort of another higher end version than the 502. It does have 1080p on here, but it also says on the side of the box it's only 720, but I swear to God this is 1080p video. It is Bluetooth connected to your smartphone and Wi-Fi at the same time, so the transmitter makes a connection by Bluetooth. Very interesting. It's also 7 1/4 by 7 1/4 squared from the end of the frame one side to the other. Auto takeoff waypoints. It does have flight control fail-safe, low power fail-safe, headless mode. Up to about 11 satellites on here. And there is the drone itself. It looks pretty nice. The controller is also fitting in here, which is nice because you can still use this box for later. You get your directions, your disclaimer warning, don't do anything stupid, and everything that's included in the box on a little schematic right here. It's kind of nice. This is the transmitter. We have the throttle on the left, and we have pitch and roll over here on this side. We have a return to home button, which you need to push for about 2 seconds. This is your power button. It's going to start up like that, and it's going to start blinking that Bluetooth looking for your phone. You have an auto takeoff and land button right there, camera trim right there, I'm not sure what that is, and a photo and a video button right there. And if we open up this door in the back, you'll see it does need 4 AAA batteries back there. I use the rechargeables usually, but today I've got IKEAs. Now it does have brushed motors on here. This is your 1080p camera, and it has some kind of camera adjustment that I didn't get to try out, but you also have LEDs on the bottom of each arm. Micro SD card goes in right here, and I did put a piece of Velcro on the bottom here because we're going to do some flying with a different battery, because back here in the battery hatch, this is the JST connector and it's not proprietary, so you can use any type of like red JST connector. This is your 2S 750 milliamp battery, and over here on the right, check this out. This is a 2S 500 milliamp, a little bit smaller, but you can still get close to 10 minutes flight time, maybe around 8 minutes flight time with that, but you can also get a little larger battery, experiment, and put it on the bottom. What's cool is you do get 4 extra props that are labeled A and B, and you do get some extra hardware in case you lose one of the nuts, and you get an extra little screwdriver there. And for guys that want to use prop guards, if you're brand new to flying drones, I would probably do that. And you also get a PC Link style battery charger. This is the battery balance port right there. It just plugs into the white port on the battery cable. Once you get that charged up, you can put it in the quad. Now the first thing, you're going to need to calibrate the compass after you get a solid connection. You see the video in the app. And I'm actually pretty impressed with the video on this drone. There's a lot of toy drones out there that I've flown recently that have terrible video. This one does have a significant amount of jello, I won't lie to you there, but this drone is also around $100. Now watch that. It just flew over there and crashed. And the compass didn't get calibrated very well the first time around, so make sure you calibrate your compass on the horizontal axis like this, and then down, camera facing downwards, and then you should see those LEDs stop flashing, and you'll see on the app that you've also made that connection and made a good compass calibration. Now it knows which way true north is. So we'll go ahead and hop in some video here, and I'm going to be completely honest with you in this review, just like every single review I do. Now here's the live video feed. This is recording down to the micro SD card, but look at that definition in this little camera. It actually looks pretty good. It's a little bit smoky again out here today, and I'm not going to go too far away, but if you do go out of range with this drone, it will turn around and come back. It'll start to fail safe and return to home, which is great. So if you see that toilet bowling thing like happened last time, it started to toilet bowl and then it flew off to my left and crashed over there into the bush. I thought it was going to hit one of the poles, but it didn't, thank God. Now it seems to be like totally locked in, and this is a hands-off hover. That's looking pretty good. So now I can go ahead and, now I know I'm safe to fly. Don't ever fly off until you know that you have a solid hover. If you're brand new to flying GPS drones, that's going to be a tip for you. Now we're just cruising. You guys can see that kind of bouncy. It's non-stabilized, but you know, we can't really complain about a $100 drone not having stabilized video. It's just not quite affordable yet for these companies to produce something with stabilized video at around $100. Unless it's one of those, the DJI Tello is pretty decent, it's okay. but this one is much bigger. So the Hubsan drones are actually better for trainers in my opinion, because it gives you a better line of sight flying quadcopter. And if you're just getting into this is probably the best type of trainer to get. These Hubsan drones really do fly well. They feel slightly robotic in the controls, kind of like some of the MJX RC quadcopters. Now we're gonna try out Follow Me. I'm in that Follow Me mode now, and it seems to be following me backwards. Very, very good. Looks good. Now to the other direction, let's see if I can trick it. It didn't seem to turn on the yaw axis. It just kind of moved on the roll axis over to my right, following me in that direction. So now I'm going to walk toward it, see if it handles the flying away from me test, and it passed that. That's doing good. Perfect. Perfect Follow Me on this drone. So I'm pretty happy about that. Some of the other Hubsan ones I've tried didn't have very good Follow Me. So now I'm in orbit mode, and that seemed to work perfect. The orbit mode, it's a little bit slow, but it is doing its job, what it's supposed to be doing. So I'm just going to speed that up a little bit until we finish the circle. Perfect circle. Very nice. So now I put it into return to home, and we're going to see how close it lands to that landing pad. And I always do this with a lot of the toy drones with GPS. If it lands inside a 10-foot radius circle, then it's doing actually really well. Some of the older DJI drones with NASA flight controllers on them, they would land like 15 feet away from the home point. So we've really come a long ways for GPS return to home. And that's not bad at all. That's almost within 5 feet of the landing home point. Now this is also something I like to see if it turns off the motors without me having to do it. And yes, it did that. So perfect return to home situation. It didn't land on the car, and this is a failsafe. That's low battery voltage failsafe. That just happened like 25 feet up in the air. Nothing happened to it. It's a really light quadcopter. So now we're going to try a 2S 500 milliamp, and 500 milliamp is a little bit smaller than the stock battery, but I still think I could get 7 to 8 minutes flight time out of that. And these batteries are really cheap, guys, so I'll try to put some links down below for some larger size batteries than 500 milliamp. But let's just go ahead and pull up that video again. And I see a little bit of a blue haze, but today is a really difficult condition. It's not blue skies today, so this is a pretty good test to even show any color on this camera today with how grayed out it is. It's almost like one of those winter days. Now I did notice that the video feed lagged and stopped giving me video back to the phone when I was about 200 yards out. So if you get this drone, don't fly out more than a couple hundred yards. If you're relying on your phone to see where you're going, because a lot of people look at their phone in the FPV to try to see where they're going, and then they get way out there and they get discombobulated because everything freezes up on you. And if it does that, don't panic. Just hit the return to home button and you'll come back into your signal range for your video feed. And I'm just loving this camera, guys. I'm really impressed with the definition in this. I do see some sort of horizontal jello in there, but it is handling all the colors really well. And I think if we flew this one up really high, you could get some pretty cool shots, especially for a trainer drone or something that's basically a toy drone. This is pretty sweet video. If this is where we're going with video in the next year or two, it just keeps getting better and better all the time with these toy drones. But that's a pretty nice image right there. That is not bad at all. I'm just checking out the scenery here. How smoky it is out in the horizon. And this is interesting. You see that go by the screen right there? Those are sparrows that aren't too happy with this little drone. Sometimes the birds will chase these guys. There goes one right there. There must be some bird's nest down there. And they will chase you like several hundred yards away if you're near their nest. So, but I've never hit a bird, so I've been flying for over 5 years and never hit a bird. they're not going to hit your drone, usually. So I'm coming down here a little closer in, and I want to do some lower flying for you guys. And all the flight modes seem to work really well on this one in comparison to the 502. Yeah, that did okay. And it's interesting that this one uses Bluetooth, connecting the phone to the transmitter. There goes one of those birds. There's all kinds of them down here. And I am really in their territory right here. They're letting me know that this is their zone. And that's okay, they won't hit me. They're just giving me a friendly escort out of their area. But look at the definition of this camera, guys. This is looking really good. You can see the individual blades of grass right there. And again, for a trainer drone, this is great because you can bring this back home, take the SD card out, put it in your computer, and you can have a lot of fun playing around making some videos. And depending on where you live, if you have really awesome scenery, you can make some really cool videos to start out with. And that's about it for my second battery, guys. Not bad at all. I'm gonna have to say this is like a pretty high rated Hubsan drone. I'm probably thinking about 4.8 out of 5 on this one. I had 0 issues with this one except for that low voltage cutoff, and that was my fault because I flew too long. So keep that in mind. This drone, if you're way out there and you get to that low voltage cutoff point around 20% battery, it's gonna fail safe and it'll drop straight to the ground. So it's gonna try to save itself, so to speak. But if you're over water, that would be a really bad thing, which there is water out in that tree farm across the field over there, so I usually keep it away from the water. But this is the final return to home. You're looking at that again, and that is pretty good, guys. Not bad at all. And it's gonna cut the motors off, and we're done. That is pretty sweet. Definitely some of the best toy drone video that I've had my hands on this year so far. I've seen some really bad ones out there, and I think this one's worth the money. I would put down my money on this one, and I'll try to share some links down below with you guys. Hopefully you guys learned a little bit about flying on this episode, and as always, I really appreciate you guys watching my videos and subscribing. We're coming up on 100,000 subscribers.